Hey, this is Matt once again. Welcome back to another video. This is another paid request, this time for Jonathan Lindsey. Thank you so much for that. And for those interested in requesting any type of videos or topics, reactions, commentaries, what have you, feel free to send it either directly to my PayPal or join my Patreon. Both links are down below in the info box. And this is for the Batman, the animated episode of You Scratch My Back. I will say it's cool to be watching another Batman episode again, because Jonathan Lindsey sent a lot of them in the past. Thank you so much for sending one again. These are fun to watch. It turned out to be a really good show. Now, technically, the Batman, the anime series had ended, from what I understand. And then 2 years later, the studio, the companies, the network went up and said, hey, can you guys do something a bit more? Because it's about like 2 years after. We have this cartoon with Superman. And, can we get like the new Batman Adventures? So you got Kevin Conroy coming back, the voice Batman. But things a bit changed, and I will say it's nowhere near as prevalent as Batman the Animated Series. I'm not really big on the animation change. They try to make it a bit with Superman. I think Superman, that artwork works for Superman. I don't think it works as well for Batman, because I just think what I had seen previously on the show with the anime series just looked a bit more vibrant. They had a little bit more ode to the Fleischer cartoons, like the Superman Fleischer cartoons. Speaking of Superman, I actually think that looked better, more aesthetically pleasing to the eye. But yeah, the new Batman Adventures, the art was a bit different. Also, some of the character designs were a bit different, and I thought it was a step down compared to 2 years before this. But again, they wanted to go with the Superman cartoon at that time. Like, I look at Batman, and I'm not really... I thought his costume... I liked the way it looked previously. Also, Catwoman, I did not like her design. Okay, the episode is the first with Nightwing. Nightwing is the persona that Robin had Dick Grayson, where he was Robin with Batman for a few years, then he wanted to do his own thing, and he became Nightwing. Now, his costume, like the comics, I do like the costume. The voice actor, he was Robin in Batman anime series, he comes back as Nightwing. It was nice to see that character portrayed. I would put him as... I like him more than Robin. Because Robin I could deal with, but I always prefer Batman solo. But I would say... I like him better than Robin, but not as good as Terry and Batman Beyond. I would say between the two, I would say I like Batman Beyond that better than the Nightwing character. But yeah, this is just one episode, and pretty much he's at these docks. Batman and Batgirl show up. All three of them fight some bad guys on these docks, and Nightwing comes across Catwoman. I believe once again voiced by Adrienne Barbeau from John Carpenter's The Fog and Wes Craven's Swamp Thing. I did not like her design. I thought Catwoman's design went humongously down. Because she looked great. Like, she had more of a gray color, and you saw more of her face. And here, they just made her, like, pure black, her costume. Which, I mean, yeah, Michelle Pfeiffer's costume was black. But this, it didn't look that appealing. And then for some reason, you only saw more of the bottom of her face. And it was, like, pale. It was, like, Harley Quinn pale white. Which I didn't understand. Why is it such pale white? And then even when she took it off, she had like I don't know, not the best haircut, and she had much. Maybe she had this before, but her hair maybe just the way her hair was cut, it looked more darker and black. Like I said, I thought they did a really uglier design of Catwoman. That's one thing I did not like. But pretty much, Batman and Batgirl saying, "Hey, be careful, Catwoman." Nightwing wants to prove himself. Wants to look into the smuggling business. Gets with Catwoman. They go in this penthouse. There's this bad guy named Hook, because he has a hook. There's a little bit of fighting. It's like to see a bit of Nightwing. Usually his martial arts. Wish we could have seen a bit more of that, to be fair. And you get the idea of Catwoman being manipulative, which made sense. Nightwing seems like he's going along with it. Even gets rid of one of Batman's tractors. Does you get the idea again? He wants to be able to handle it on his own. Well, I mean, I know there was this stuff in the previous show, but this one I saw much more vividly the red sky. It made me think of Ninja Turtles, the 80s cartoon, when it got to last season or two, and as what people called the red sky episodes. So every time you look at this sky, there's a vivid redness to it. Which I'm trying to think if that was in the previous show now of Batman, now that I think about it. The opening credits, yeah, but I'm trying to remember if... Now that I think about it, I don't remember on the show the sky being as red as it was in this one. Maybe that's something that was only with this one. I keep getting confused as you think of the opening, which the sky was red. And you come to find out, of course, Catwoman is helping Nightwing, but she also has her own purposes. There's an emerald that she had stolen. She had hidden among the bad guys' stuff. So Nightwing has to chase Catwoman while Batman deals with this guy Hook. Funny enough, even though it's a Nightwing episode, the best moment still belongs to Batman, in my opinion. Because Batman's fighting Hook, and Batman gives like this nice uppercut, and then the guy's like, "You met your match, no?" And Batman goes, "No." And he's able to get a fire extinguisher, and the guy hits it, blinds himself, gets his hook caught, and this big stuff lands on him. So yeah, it is funny, like, again, it's a Nightwing episode, but Batman still has the best moment in it. While Nightwing chases Catwoman onto this boat and they have a bit of a scuffle, he stops her, they jump off before it explodes. Like I said, it was nice to see Nightwing. The thing of it is, though, it's kind of hampered by the fact of, if you want to show Nightwing and what he can do as Nightwing, I thought this was kind of a wonky way to first approach it, because number one, you make him seem a bit dumb by being manipulated by Catwoman, although you kind of get the idea that he kind of that he did listen to Batman, and that's how Batman and Batgirl found them at the end. "You tricked me," Catwoman says. So at least it doesn't make him too much of a dunce. Like maybe he believed her at first, but behind the scenes he told Batman and trusted him. But it's just like you have Batman, you got Batgirl, like just to have Nightwing by himself and take care of this by himself would have been more interesting for me. And also, like, his first bit of business, instead of just, this maybe not with Catwoman, just going up against the bad guy himself. And showing Batman, listen, I'm glad you have my bat, but you have to trust me a bit, I can't do it myself as well. It just would have been nice to see Nightwing on a true solo adventure to showcase what he can do and what he's learned from Batman, and he can be capable of doing it on his own without Batman's help. I think that would have better showcased the importance of Nightwing. Because again, by the end, there's Batman, the Batgirl. I know this iteration of the show is a lot more about the Batman family, so you get a lot more episodes of Batgirl. I think this is when you also had the other Robin come in. He wasn't in this episode, but I forgot his name. That Robin. I think Jason Todd was the one that Joker killed, so this might be the other one. I always forget his damn name. I think the third. I always forget the third Robin's name. But I would say it was still fun to see Nightwing on the screen in motion. Because I'm not a Batman aficionado, but I do remember him from the comics. It was nice to see a little bit of his martial arts. I would like to have seen more if it was more of a solo. I guess that's the thing, it's kind of what you would see later in Batman Beyond. A teenager character having to prove his own, having to prove to Batman he could do it on his own. I guess really what I'm asking for is I could just go watch Batman Beyond. But like I said, it was nice to see Nightwing a bit. Nice to see Catwoman back, although her design's ugly as hell. Hook, I mean, it's a guy with a hook. I mean, just nothing special about the villain. Kind of blasé. There's no like big voice acting cameos. I'm like, oh, it's that guy. On the flip side, always nice to hear Kevin Conroy. May he rest in peace. Still very sad that he passed away. But overall, it was a fast-paced, fun enough episode. Decent amount of action, like when Catwoman and Nightwing have to work together, and there's a bit where they have to escape and fight these goons and jump out, and they escape and they jump into this pool, and even the finale of Batman fighting Hook, and how you met your match, you know? No. So it was still a fun, quick episode. Wasn't boring at all. And that's the thing with a lot of Batman. Even some of the weaker ones, or the ones like, it's still fun watch. So yeah, I didn't mind it. So thank you once again, John and Lindsey. Take care, everyone. We'll see you later. Bye bye.